This is literally just happening out in Hollywood. Critics' Choice Awards happen. Chelsea Handler is posting it. I don't think Blake Lively is going to like.
I am your DEI host, Chelsea Handler. I want to acknowledge that we've been through a lot lately, not just here in Los Angeles, but our entire country. Waking up every day, not knowing what news we're going to hear that will disappoint or horrify us. So it is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
There's something about watching a Hollywood Golden Girl fall from grace that keeps people absolutely glued to their screens. And Blake Lively, well, she just found out the hard way that the same industry that built her up is now having a little too much fun tearing her down. And nothing cemented that shift more than the Critics' Choice Awards, where instead of sympathy, she got roasted. Hard. Chelsea Handler, never one to hold back, waltzed onto that stage, looked out at Hollywood's elite, and did what she does best, throwing verbal grenades with perfect comedic timing. She barely had to set up the punchline before she dropped a joke so sharp, so cutting, that you could practically hear the PR team scrambling backstage.
Thank you for providing us with that distraction. I'm grateful. I think we're all grateful. And I think we're good.
And then, boom. She took direct aim at the legal mess between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, calling it the ultimate distraction. The audience? Oh, they lost it.
I think everybody in this room, no matter whose side you're on, we can all agree to accept that there's probably not going to be a sequel. It ends with us, guys.
See, this moment wasn't just about an awards show joke, it was a temperature check on how Hollywood really feels about this scandal. And the results? Not looking great for Blake. When this lawsuit first exploded, people were ready to rally behind Blake. The press painted her as the sophisticated, wronged star. But now they're laughing at her. That shift? It's deadly in Hollywood, where public perception is currency.
She does make fun of Justin and Blake, but the fact that she's making fun of it at all shows she doesn't believe.
It wasn't just a room full of A-listers having a chuckle. It was a statement. This wasn't a scandal anyone was taking seriously anymore. At least, not in the way Blake wanted. When an entire industry moves from whispers of support to open mockery, that's when you know the tide has turned. And it didn't stop at the ceremony. Social media took Chelsea's roast and ran with it like it was the best thing since the Will Smith slap.
I think that's incredibly telling. And to see Hollywood celebrities in this room laughing at and agreeing with her that, like, we're over this. Stop, Blake. This wasn't worth it.
Every tweet, every meme, every sarcastic TikTok reaction added another nail to the coffin of Blake's carefully curated Hollywood image. Instead of gasping in horror, people were laughing, retweeting, and roasting her right alongside Chelsea. The worst part? This wasn't just a moment, it was the moment. The one where public sympathy officially dried up. It's almost surreal to watch. Not too long ago, Blake was Hollywood's sweetheart. From her Gossip Girl days to her carefully polished red carpet persona, she was untouchable. That perfect mix of effortless charm, elegance, and just the right amount of humor. Now, it's like watching someone trip and fall in slow motion while the cameras roll.
Wave of bad press we did see about Blake Lively when the film came out this past summer was not organic. It was totally orchestrated by Justin and his team, and they've gotten their hands on a bunch of texts, especially amongst the PR team, but a couple involving Justin, that seemed to suggest they were ready to, quote, destroy her. You guys were the ones out there generating negative press against Justin. You bullies were the ones who were trying to ruin Justin so you could have your way on all the scenes and all the wardrobe and all the control, and you could feel like the producer and the director when you weren't.
The same media that once worshipped her was now pulling receipts, digging through inconsistencies in her allegations, and questioning every move. That's the thing about Hollywood. The second they smell weakness, they're ready to move on. But here's where things get really messy. Because Blake? She isn't going down without a fight. Her legal team came out swinging, claiming this entire wave of bad press was orchestrated by Justin Baldoni and his team. a full-blown smear campaign designed to turn Hollywood against her.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Lively has filed a civil rights complaint and a lawsuit against her co-star, who also directed the film, where she claims that in retaliation for raising concerns, Baldoni and his team launched an online social manipulation campaign to destroy Lively's reputation. The New York Times published the first story about Lively's allegations. Now Baldoni and 9 other plaintiffs, including Baldoni's PR firm, are suing the paper for libel and say they plan to take further legal action.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
In the filing, Baldoni's lawyers contend text messages were taken out of context or excluded, including one appearing to show Lively inviting Baldoni into her trailer while pumping, which they say refutes Lively's claim that Baldoni would enter her trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding.
We plan to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipt.
And listen, does Hollywood love a scandal? Of course. But are they easily manipulated into taking sides? Not exactly. If Justin and his team were really pulling the strings, then explain this. Why did Chelsea Handler, one of the boldest voices in the industry, feel comfortable enough to roast Blake on stage, knowing full well that the biggest names in Hollywood would laugh along? It's simple. Hollywood had already made up its mind. And what does that mean for Blake? Well, once the industry stops caring, you stop mattering. And right now, the only thing people are interested in when it comes to Blake Lively is how much further she'll fall. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni started as co-stars, but now they're locked in one of Hollywood's messiest, most expensive, and most career-threatening legal battles to date. This isn't just a lawsuit anymore, it's an all-out war, with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. Blake came in swinging, suing Justin for a staggering $250 million, accusing him of mismanagement, misconduct, and professional sabotage. But Justin, he didn't just clap back. He doubled down with a $400 million countersuit, accusing Blake of defamation, extortion, and a deliberate attempt to hijack his film.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Lively has filed a civil rights complaint and a lawsuit against her co-star, who also directed the film, where she claims that in retaliation for raising concerns, Baldoni and his team launched an online social manipulation campaign to destroy Lively's reputation. The New York Times published the first story about Lively's allegations. Now Baldoni and 9 other plaintiffs, including Baldoni's PR firm, are suing the paper for libel and say they plan to take further legal action.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
In the filing, Baldoni's lawyers contend text messages were taken out of context or excluded, including one appearing to show Lively inviting Baldoni into her trailer while pumping, which they say refutes Lively's claim that Baldoni would enter her trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding.
We plan to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipt.
This isn't just two celebrities throwing tantrums in court. This is a battle for survival. And if Blake thought she had the upper hand, she was in for a rude awakening. Because Justin? He came prepared. Within days of the lawsuit going public, Baldoni dropped receipts, and not just any receipts, game-changing receipts that flipped the entire narrative on its head.
Men repeatedly entered her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding.
She said, he came in my trailer while I was breastfeeding. Well, then he produced the text messages showing her saying, I'm breastfeeding, come on over.
You see, one of Blake's biggest claims was that Justin made her feel uncomfortable and unsafe by entering her trailer uninvited, especially while she was breastfeeding. It was one of the most damning accusations in her lawsuit. But then, Justin released the actual text messages. And guess what? Blake invited him in. The texts showed her telling him to come on over while she was breastfeeding. And just like that, her credibility took a massive hit. But that wasn't even the worst part. Because then came the lip-dragging fiasco, an accusation that was so dramatic, so cinematic, that people were convinced it had to be true. Blake claimed that Justin leaned in, whispered, "You smell so good," and dragged his lips down her neck. Sounds horrifying, right? Except it never happened.
At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear and down her neck as he said, "It smells so good." Mr. Baldoni was caressing Ms. Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. When Ms. Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even attracted to you."
Let's go.
Okay, there. Okay, so he puts his like head in her neck.
Getting beard on you today.
And says, "Am I getting beard on you?"
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup. Laughs. She laughs and says, "Oh, did you get beard on me?" She doesn't say, "Oh my God, you nuzzled me."
Justin pulled out actual on-set footage from the same day that showed the two laughing and joking about beard marks, with Blake teasing Justin about getting makeup on her. Not exactly the horrifying scene Blake described in her lawsuit. This wasn't just a contradiction, this was career-destroying. And as if things couldn't get worse, enter Ryan Reynolds. Rumors had been swirling for months that Ryan played a major role behind the scenes, using his Hollywood influence to blacklist Justin Baldoni and pressure studios to cut ties with him. And wouldn't you know it, Justin was mysteriously dropped by his agency at the peak of the scandal. Coincidence? Hollywood doesn't believe in coincidences. But here's where things take a wild turn, because this scandal wasn't just about Blake, Justin, and Ryan anymore. Nope. Taylor Swift got dragged into the mess too.
It's their project. I'm like, I've got little monsters, little dragons, and their name's Taylor Swift. I don't often use them, but if you give me what I want, yes, exactly what I want, they are not going to figuratively blow fire on your head.
A leaked text revealed Blake calling Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds her little monsters and dragons, basically implying that if things didn't go her way, she could weaponize them against Justin. And Swifties, they did not take kindly to that. Taylor, who had been super close with Blake for years, was suddenly keeping her distance. At public events, Taylor was noticeably avoiding Blake, and people started connecting the dots. Was she cutting ties? As if Blake didn't have enough problems, now she was alienating one of the most powerful celebrities in the world. And if that wasn't bad enough, the legal war was far from over. A trial date was officially set for March 2026.
And it's just disgusting when you go after someone, you try to destroy their life, and actually the evidence shows something different. Blake Lively was no victim here. They removed the emoji. They removed the piece about the reporter showing that Melissa saw it for the first time then, and obviously couldn't be a part of it. And they removed the rest of the text messages showing that they're joking around. I mean, it's absolutely appalling.
She played with fire, and now she got burned. This isn't going to end well for you, Blake.
Sorry. Hollywood was splitting in two, and shockingly, many industry figures were siding with Justin.
And the hit piece had a bunch of text messages and emails between Baldoni and his PR team. Baldoni ended up being dropped from William Morris Agency, which is one of the biggest agencies in the world.
I just, to sit there and have your husband bully your director.
Yes.
You know, like, if you don't like this, have the balls to do it yourself.
People who had stayed silent before were now openly backing Baldoni, saying that he was being unfairly attacked and that Blake's claims weren't holding up under scrutiny. And with each passing day, the once unshakable Hollywood power couple of Blake and Ryan was starting to crumble.
And Justin were assigned a mediator in the hopes they'll settle out of court and save everyone a lengthy court saga.
Blake Lively is taking more legal action against Justin Baldoni. According to her lawyers, Blake has filed a subpoena for her former director's phone records.
Once upon a time, they owned the Hollywood narrative. But now, they're losing control. The legal battle is only heating up. And with trial dates looming, one thing is clear. This isn't ending quietly. The question is, who's going to survive the fallout?